Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to have a go at modelling a manual hand drill, so something similar to this. Now I have got one physically in front of me, so it looks slightly different to this, but this just gives you an idea of what we're going to try and model. If you can have the actual physical thing in front of you, it does make modelling things quite a bit easier because you can take them apart and actually see how things interact and that sort of thing. Failing that though, finding like a decent set of pictures is always a good solid second best sort of thing. So let's jump over. What we'll do is we'll do it in three parts like the other videos. Is with the first part we'll do the actual physical modelling, and the second part we'll do the unwrapping, and then the third part we'll jump over to Substance Painter and have a go at texturing it that way. So I am in my workspace. What I'm going to do is create a cylinder. So remember I can either go up to the shelf here, go to cylinder, go to create polygon primitives and cylinder that way, or I can hit the spacebar, create and cylinder there. And then hit F to frame it. Now I'm going to hit T to get my properties up. First of all, I'm just going to up the subdivisions to 40, so I've got more faces to work with. I'm going to hit R on my keyboard to scale it down a little bit. Something like that. Right click, go to faces. I'm going to hold down tab so I can paint select and just select all of those. I'm going to hit Control E to offset and drag in like that. Now I want to select all these outside faces, so I'm going to click, hold down Shift, double click to select those. I'm going to Control E again. This time keep faces together. I'm going to turn off. I'm going to give it some thickness. And I'm also going to add a little bit of offset like that to get my teeth. Now next little bit we need to do on the inside. So I'm going to right click, go to faces again, hold down tab and paint select. Control E, drag. Oh, I had those faces selected by accident, so let's do that again. Go to face, hold down tab, paint select. Control E to offset, bring in somewhere about there. Now, if we're on my 2023 or 2022, they had it where you got Smart Extrude. So I could Control E and extrude again, or press W on my keyboard, hold down Shift, and I can bring it up that way. There's another way of doing it as well. Now I just want to make sure it's slightly above where the teeth are. And then I want to to scale and just bring that in a bit like that. And I want to Control E and offset. And then just to show you again, W, and then I'm going to hold down Shift and move it down to Smart Extrude like that. Now we want this to be concave a little bit, so I'm going to grab the edge, press W and just bring it down so it's curved a little bit, somewhere like that. And then on this edge here, give it a bevel to give it a little bit of curve, and then get a vertex and drag that down so it's a little bit like that. Now I apologise if you can hear loads of buzzing. I've got all the windows open, it's really hot, and there's loads of flies that come in, and I've got fly spray and they will not go away, and it's driving me insane. So hopefully the buzzing is not picking up on the microphone, but it is making me go slowly insane. Okay, right, run over. If we want to change the height and things like this, by the way, is all you can do is right go to edge. Ooh. So I could grab that edge and that edge, and I can like make that taller or smaller, however I want, as long as it's slightly above where those teeth are. That's what we want. Okay, and then the next bit, what we want to do is go on the back side. Let's go to the bottom. Let's grab those faces. W, bring it up slightly. R to scale. Make it flat. Like that. Okay, so that is that first part, a little gear bit done. Next, so we look what that's looking like. We may change that a little bit, but we'll have a look later. Okay, next let's bring that up first of all a little bit. Let's get a box. I'm going to turn wireframe on. Let's scale this. W to move it. A little bit shorter, a bit skinnier. Something like that, and that needs to be thinner. Bring that into position, so it's going to go on there like that. That needs to be quite a bit skinnier. Yeah, something like that. And then let's bevel these edges. Let's go to edge. Grab these edges, go to B. Bring that fraction up. Add some subdivisions. But for now, I'm just going to go back a second, a few steps. Control Z to undo. What I want to do is just do 2 of those. And let's bring that up. Yeah, like that, that's better. Then let's bring in our cube. Bring that up. Let's make that skinnier. Something like that. Bring that into position. And then let's go to edge mode. P to bevel, or control B to bevel rather. Bring that fraction up. And let's bring that down into position. There you go, that's a bit better. Okay, next we'll do our little handle. So let's grab another cylinder. Move it over here, R to scale. It needs to be somewhere around there. No, it needs to be a little bit bigger actually. It needs to overlap a little bit. Up. Yes, the handle does actually overlap from the edges a little bit. Then let's go to vertex, select those, knock them up. Okay, now we'll do it. Some beveling. Let's add a few more segments. And then let's grab multi-cut, something like that. To scale, bring it in a little bit. And then let's bevel that to make it a little bit less harsh. And let's bevel that edge as well. We'll bring that up for a second. Yep. Maybe that needs to be a little bit taller. So I can grab those vertex like that, make it a little bit taller. We are going to have a screw go into the top of that, so let's go to faces. Let's select these faces. W. Down a little bit. Right click to edge. And then let's just like that. Okay, looks good. Now let's have a look at doing the main cylinder. So let's just grab another cylinder. E to rotate, hold down J to make it snap into position. R to scale. W to bring it down to position. Something like that is about right. Right click, go to vertex. W, bring that out to about there. Let's grab this side. The arrow, go to about there. Okay. So we'll do this side first, which will be the main part of the handle, and then the other part will do the gears on there. So let's just grab another cylinder. Oh, no, it's a cone. E to rotate, J to snap into position. R to scale. Now if you want to make sure this snaps when you're moving it, what you do is hold down V. And it will snap to the vertex as you're moving it, like that. So we now know I can move back and forth, but I now know it's always going to be perfectly in line there. So next, let's just bevel this edge, round up a little bit. Bring that in a little bit, like that. Bevel this edge as well and do 2 and just bring that down nice and tight, like that. So you can see what we're working with. Get one more cylinder, we'll do the main part of our handle. Let's go to the front view again, grab that, E to rotate, J to snap into position. W to move, R to scale, that is centered, so let's go to front. It's quite a bit longer, so let's go to vertex, drag that out. Go to edge. Let's make that a bit bigger. Then bevel. Then we want multi-cut, and let's go to somewhere late there. Add scale. Bring that in. And let's bevel to make that a little bit less harsh. Okay, we do have a little bit of thickness coming off. Yeah, something like that. Nice, that's looking good. Let's just move that so it's touching. There we go, so handle done. We've got quite a few little screws and pins and those sorts of things in, but we've got this side done quite easily. Okay, let's jump over to the other side. So we need to have a gear. Now there is actually, which is a massive help, go to create, polygon primitives. There are gears already in there, which is so helpful. So we'll come in. Okay, and let's go to edge. Add scale. So I can bring it in, so it's beveled gear. Like that. Object, R to scale, so make it smaller. Front. E to rotate, J to snap it round in increments. I'll check I've got the gears going the right way round, so it should be, no, it's the right way round. Okay. And then W to bring into position. Like that. It's a massive help that they've actually got like a primitive of a gear. That is super, super helpful. We've got a bit of clipping, we'll sort that out later, but for now, we'll just keep it in position. Okay, next we're going to have a thread. So for that, let's bring in another cylinder. I go to front view, E to rotate, R to scale, bring it down, bring it into position. A little bit smaller. I'm actually going to make that a little bit smaller again because I'm going to have a thread go on it to make it a bit thicker afterwards. So let's bring that in like like there. Now we need to a thread, so I'm going to go to create, and we're going to get a helix. Okay. T, increase the height a little bit, add more coils. I'm going to make this a lot smaller. Need to rotate. Okay. Right, T, and let's increase the width a little bit. How's that looking? Nice, that's got a nice little thread look to it. And then what I will do is grab those vertex and just bring those out just a little bit. The edge, just bevel the edge slightly. 2 seconds, bring the fraction down. Okay, and next we need to have the chuck for the actual drill bit to go into. I'm just going to give this a little save so I know it's not going to crash or anything. Okay. Next, so let's bring a cylinder in again. The front view, E to rotate, J to snap into position, W to bring it over, R to scale, make it quite a bit smaller. Okay, it needs to be, yeah, about that sort of height. So let's do vertex. I'm just going to bring that, actually let's do it this way. So then let's add a multi-cut there and there, and the face, E to extrude, let's make some thickness. Yeah, something like that is fine. Let's add another multi-cut up there. Then let's go to edge mode, R to scale, bring it in like that. So we've got our chuck, so let's just add a few little bevels. The reason I'm doing 2, by the way, is so they're like called holding lines. So when I do smooth preview, so I hit 3, it's going to keep that shape how I want it. And then what we're going to do is let's go to face, and then let's make a hole for where the actual drill bit is going to go. Nice, and then I'll have another hole at the back here for where the actual thread is going. Just check that's in the right position. Yep, that looks good. Grab that edge, Control B, 2 segments, and bring it nice and tight. Okay, so we've got our chuck, we've got our handle, got all of those in, we've got a few little screws to do, and then our little drill bit, and then the modelling side is done. So let's just do our, I'm going to give that another little save just to make sure. What we'll do is let's do our drill bit now. So best way I've found to do this is let's do a cylinder. E to rotate again. Hold down J for it to snap. W to move. R to scale. Try to make sure I get to the same size as the hole that I've got. Something like that is good. Right. I'm going to the vertex, W, and drag that out. Now I played around with a few little things. I'm trying to get like the actual like flutes, like the actual cuts of the drill. So the best way I found to do that was with a Boolean cut. Now what I am going to do first of all is let's go to vertex, W, let's just bring it out a little bit. Go to edge, bevel it, and just to round it off a little bit so we've got like that. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is let's go to create. I'm going to go to polygon primitive. I'm going to go to helix. Go to front, E to rotate, and J to snap that into position again. W to bring it into position, and then let's reduce these quite a bit again. I'm going to use this to cut the actual parts in to the actual drill bit itself. So to do that, I need to, I think it still needs to be a little bit thinner. Maybe let's do a little bit thinner. Maybe like there. Let's add another curve like that. And let's do width. And we want it to be overlapping the piece. Maybe I'll increase the radius a bit like that. Okay, so then what I'm going to give this a save just because I don't want it to crash. What I'm then going to do is select this one and then select that one. And over here, I've got Boolean. And then what we're going to do is I want to do A minus B or B minus A. I'm going to do B minus A. And what it's going to do is, as you can see, cut that off. So if I take this and H to hide, hide there, you see what it's done is actually used it to cut that shape away. Now I'm going to undo that for a second. I think I'm going to make that a little bit less in the material. So I'm going to leave a little bit more, I think. Let's try that. So let's go to modeling, Boolean. Let's do B minus A. Let's try that again. Let's hide that. Hide that. That looks better. I've got this little bit here I don't want, so I'm just going to undo quickly. There's just a little bit of trial and error of trying to figure out where I want to have all the details. That one looks like it might be okay. We'll make it a little bit longer perhaps. Okay, and let's try that. Okay. Select those, hide that, hide that. And there, I'd say I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to bring that into position. So I've got my drill bit. So we've got a drill bit there, got everything. The last little bit we need to have is the actual like pins and things going through there. I'm just going to give that a little save. That's all the hard bits done now. So now let's just add in some screws. So what we'll do, we need to have a pin, so we're going to go cylinder, R to scale, let's bring that down there, and then we'll bring that edge to about there, go to edge, bevel, like that. And then we've got a couple to do on the back side. So I'm just trying to look at the actual one I've got in front of me. Okay, so here we've got a couple to do here as well. So let's go to cylinder, R to scale, bring this into position, R to scale again, make it a bit smaller. Okay, so we want that to go all the way through. So let's go to vertex, like that, and I'll bring that one down. And then like before, let's bevel some of these edges. So that's I don't want it to stick out quite as much. Something like that. Then the last little bit is we need a couple of screws to go in here. You could, if you wanted to, make that a little bit fatter, depending on your preference. So I'm just going, as I said, I've got the actual physical thing in front of me, but I'm not like going for like absolute replica. I'm just trying to go by what I feel like right when we actually render it. Okay, let's do cylinder, auto scale, come up, auto scale again. Yeah, about that sort of size. Vertex, let's bring it down. Edge. Then let's bring that. Now what I'm going to do, just bring that up. I'm just going to delete these faces here because we're not going to need them because they're not going to get seen. And then let's go Control D to duplicate. Let's bring that over to here. That needs to be slightly smaller, so let's right click. Like that. Okay, now obviously these should be Phillips head screws, but in the first time I modelled this, I did a Boolean cut again like we did with the drill bit. Like the Phillips head part, but what I'm actually thinking of doing is I will do that in Substance Painter. So we'll use a texture and actually like cut into that surface instead. So we'll leave that there. I'm just gonna have a quick little look through the one I've got in front of me. I think we're pretty much good to go. Maybe we'll add one more little thing. So that is all done. Main part of the gear is done. Very happy with this side, it's all looking good. So what I might do is let's just grab a cylinder, bring it over, I'm going to do E to rotate, auto scale, W to bring up, bring those in, and let's go edge, bevel those edges. Okay, so I'll turn off the wireframe so you can see what we've got. So nothing massively complex. It's actually just a lot of cylinders for the most part, and so like you'd think if you're going to model this, the hardest thing to do would be like the gear, but because it's primitives for gears, it's actually super easy. So we'll stop that there into like the modeling side of things. We'll have in the next video. We'll have a go at unwrapping it. Again, most of it should be relatively simple. And then we'll jump into Substance Painter and texture it from that. Hopefully you found that useful and interesting. If you've got any questions, please leave a comment down below or email me at designwithsimon@outlook.com.